Just so many issues and so many things drive me to anger, and people say, well, get angry. I said, I got so many things I'm angry about. You know, give me time to... Somebody said that to me at the last debate. You gotta get angry. I said, I am angry. I'm an angry man. What passion? I said, I've got it, but you know, you only got 22 seconds when you speak.
Any other questions? Yes?
I just wanted to say, as someone from the Southwest, also of mixed Latino and heritage, I'm really thrilled to see you running president, and wanted to see what your visions were in terms of NAFTA and CAFTA and the developments of economic relationships with Latin America.
Well, with Latin America, here's what I would do. We got to resolve the immigration issue. I mean, talking about Central America and Mexico, it's got to be done with a legalization program. You can't do it by deporting everybody. That's not going to work. But there's got to be some border protections, and I'm all for that. Secondly, with Latin America, we got to resolve the Cuba issue. You know, this embargo makes no sense. Peter knows it. It's a disaster. You even have today, yesterday, the Cuban American Foundation did a fundraiser for me. They think the embargo isn't working. They think that the Bush administration has stopped travel, restricted travel of Cubans back and forth to Miami and Cuba, to be hardline against Castro. There's no plan for a transition. So I would start with, of course, you know, Castro would be nice if he released a bunch of political prisoners that he has. So, but that can be negotiated. I have an alliance for progress. You mentioned CAFTA and NAFTA. An alliance for progress, too, that would be based on renewable energy, that would be based on human needs, micro-lending. You know, where Steve Merrill was, the winner of the Nobel Prize was a guy named Mohammed Yunus. Remember we met, well, you know him well. Micro-lending, you loan a woman in a village 15 bucks to start a dress shop, and she hires more people and pays the loan back. I mean, that's what we should be doing in the region. And I've always been a free trader, but you can't have these trade agreements anymore without making sure the other country adheres to international labor standards, freedom of association, and I believe collective bargaining and environmental quality. I mean, NAFTA, I supported it, but I look at the border, my own border with Mexico, and it's polluted. And it was supposed to, there used to be an entity, there was a side agreement that said that we'd clean up the border. It's worse!
That's me.
No.
Somebody wants to give me money.
Take the call. Ambassador?
Question about the separation of church and state, faith-based initiatives, the present administration cozying up with right-wing fundamentalist Christian groups. Where do you stand? How strong should the wall be between church and state?
Well, there should be a wall. On faith-based offices, I have felt that we had, in my state, because it's one of the poorest, we did establish, I did hire one person to try to get some of those grants, but we haven't, you know, we haven't made it a cornerstone of our initiatives. I feel that a lot of those grants, there's just too much politics. When you mix science and politics, as this administration has done, so I would probably reduce their role if I were president. In other words, the faith-based funding, I just think it should be done more on a, what do you think?
Well, I represent a community of non-believers, and so obviously I'm...
what do you mean non-believers?
Well, humanists and other people like that, and we're kind of interested in getting a place at the table too.
Well, you'd have it with me. We got a lot of non-believers in my campaign. No, they believe in me. They do. I've got an advisor who's a confirmed atheist. Mm-hmm. Now he's you know, he's unpaid, but he apparently he was asked that. It came out in the press, so it's already out, and I value him enormously. there has to be a separation of church and state. You know, I'm a Catholic. I believe my faith my sense of social justice came from being a Catholic. I mean, Paul Blanchard next to you has no faith. You like him. He's from Mexico. You know, he has no... Now, where did my wife go?
Right there. We're tired of hearing from him.
He's got no faith.
Nicola, did you have a question?
I'd like to hear more on the energy side of things, how you work with the GMs of the world, not just here in the U.S., but abroad as well, to bring about some of this technology.
Okay. Well, you know, I was energy secretary. In fact, I was energy secretary when I was training with Doug. And I got to say, I lost 30 pounds with him. 50. All right, 50, whatever. I kept a good chunk off, not as much as when he had me. I mean, we did it every morning, about 6:30.
Dedicated, that's what I mean. When he's got a goal set, man, he didn't miss a session. He was there, he was dedicated, committed.
And he'd kill me this morning. I'd hit him. I'd try to hit him.
Maybe he'd make a good Secretary of Energy.
No, he would. He'd be a very good, and you know, we need in this country a wellness effort. I mean, we need to do something about obesity. Diabetes is 33% of Medicare costs. And I just did a forum on obesity where we talked about several initiatives. One was dealing with, and I'll answer your energy, protecting, people got, you know, they thought it was a little funny, but there's discrimination against obese people when they try to get a job, and they should be protected. But we also need some wellness, screening, national campaigns to deal with this, and I put you in charge of that. I mean, you've always felt that's important.
Actually, I will admit, I was pulled out of retirement of training to train Bill Richardson, and we did a great job. And one of my things was probing him to meet the president. And finally, he did really well. He did lose 30, 40, something amazing. Looked great. It was in the papers. And sure enough, he gives me a call, says I can meet with the president in the Oval Office, and that's the picture up there in the corner. And I had this whole thing ready to say, you know, how can I help with the obesity issue? Da, da, da. Man, I'm in that Oval Office and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what happens. I mean, like, so intimidated. But I got a nice picture and a signed thing. And maybe when Governor Richardson is the president, that we can focus on that, because I think it is a large part of our health concerns.